Good evening, everyone. We want to welcome you all to another episode of the Black Market Podcast presented by Hack the Markets. I am one of your co hosts, AC, also known as the Market Oracle.
What's going on, everybody? 4K Ken checking in. Had to switch it up a little bit from our last background. Changing the places, changing locations all the time.
Yeah, there we go. I was a little small. I don't know what I had going on over here, man. I had a little small window, but we good now. All right. So, it looks like you in the nice skyline over there, man. You got the moon set and all that stuff, man. I
Yeah,
see you,
you know,
man.
just a little nighttime in
I
London
see
type
you,
deal.
man. Condo in the sky. I see you.
Yeah,
That's what trading get you. I see, man.
something like that. Something like that.
But speaking of trading, like, have you guys been paying attention to what's been going on with the markets, man?
Yeah, man. It's been a lot of paying attention to the news, the markets.
Yeah,
Your
all that stuff,
phone always going off nowadays.
all that stuff. Like, it's really, it's really crazy going on over there in Russia right now, and Ukraine rather, with the Russians trying to
Yeah.
invade. Cause I mean, it's what going on. It is a week now. I think they invaded last Thursday. It started last Thursday, so it's been a week now.
Yeah.
Um, after talking for so long, talking about they weren't gonna do this, now they start. It's a weekend. Um, doesn't seem like Ukraine is giving any type of. They're not gonna give up on resistance. Like they're not backing down
Yeah.
by no time soon. So they're
I
definitely
mean,
putting up a good fight. Of course, we know Russia has a very good military. Well, I can't say good because I was hearing reports at one time like they couldn't even fight at night. So I'm like, I don't know if you're the second most powerful military and you can't fight at night. But
right.
you know, with
Maybe
all
more.
being said,
Just maybe more manpower.
yeah, that's the thing is like I guess
Yeah.
because of the size of the army, that's gonna
Mhm.
be the reason, or because of the military rather. That's gonna be the reason why I guess they'll be considered the second strongest. But it's definitely not because of preparation. I'm hearing a lot of reports like the guys are not trying to go to different places, so they're like self sabotaging vehicles and I
Oh
heard
yeah.
one report, like I think we talked about on the last call, on the last
Mhm.
podcast rather, um, where they had a guy who was saying like they thought that they were, going into friendly territory and that people were gonna be welcoming them and they're not, they're getting blindsided. So
Yeah, people are definitely taking some. I think it's been because this is like the most recent war since Afghanistan and all of that in Iraq, and this is like
yeah,
how are people responding to this and this draft idea. No one kind of really knows anyway. So
yeah. And it's like definitely like an invasion that's
yeah,
going on in Europe. So that's definitely another big thing. Because, I mean, you hear about wars and all that stuff going on in the Middle East, and you hear about it going on in Africa a lot. And a lot of people don't really pay it any attention. Like, they hear it, and then it's
Mhm.
like, okay, we heard about it. Okay, what's next?
Right.
And no one really even, like, gives it, like, a second thought or anything.
But like you
So,
said, this is the first invasion,
yeah,
so that's a different
yeah.
context.
It's an invasion of, like, a European sovereign nation. So, I see why it's getting more attention, but at the same time, I mean, it's not a NATO country, so I mean, we can't do anything about it. But
Yeah.
watch.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it started to this kind of. It's funny because it generates its own news. From either that Russian ETF that's just hit the bottom, or
Yeah.
um, other plays that things that are even in the market that aren't trading because of its relations to it. So
Oh yeah, for sure. I know they were talking about something about not with the Russian oil, like cutting off Russian
yeah,
oil.
yeah, yeah. That's
Uh,
what I mean. You see oil prices just skyrocketing, and so you
hmm
wonder, does that have anything to do with it, or the
And
monopolies?
one thing is like I guess it's because we're so far behind though, because we are like probably the top producer in the world now, and viewed
Hmm.
as the top producer in the world, the U.S. And we have so much potential, like when it comes to oil. And I'm wondering, do we just open up the floodgates now, seeing that we're not really gonna have to worry about oil, like being as dependent on it as a nation and just as a global society at the closer we get to 2035.
Look, we need to keep oil as and just chill on because clearly we don't do well when we're having to deal with oil in crisis. We're gonna
Yeah,
go back to putting oil in water bottles again, gas and water bottles.
exactly.
It's just, I mean, well, that's gonna be a little bit of a difference between especially the way how low oil was at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
The prices were, I mean, cents on the dollar. So
Oh yeah. And I mean, no cars on the road, so there's no demand.
yeah,
No reason for it to even have anything. I mean, I wasn't buying gas.
I sure wasn't going
Even
to
right
visit.
now, I haven't bought gas like right now because I'm not driving that far. Like,
Yeah,
there's no reason for me to
exactly.
go anywhere, to be honest.
I was thinking like pre-code, you go fill up. That was like a monthly charge. You knew you're weekly. You know you're gonna have to go to the tank. You be more cognizant. Now, I you can go and ride on a half a tank, a quarter of a tank for a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I know I might need to get gas now, but there's no reason for me to go anywhere now. So,
But yeah, I'm not driving anywhere crazy. I don't.
yeah.
I'll wait.
And it's like that's once I leave the house. Like
Right.
sometimes I don't even leave the house, and then like I said, I got the electric scooter, so
Yep.
I'm on the scooter half of the time. Sometimes
Yeah.
if it depends, if I can. Now if I'm getting something heavy, going to the grocery stores, things like that, then yeah, that warrants the car. But if I'm just out here just moving around
No reason
on
to.
the scooter,
Do you think
definitely
this news is that there's going to be any more type of draw to, now that Biden and the stocks that he's had, they've had a lot of movement, a lot of volatility. Do you think
yeah.
that will continue as he has to speak?
One thing that I've definitely been paying attention to, um, a lot of the steel steel and like mining companies, they've been up.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
been up. People aren't talking about it, but they're up now. And I don't know if people are really paying that any attention. I know a lot of focus is on oil, a lot of focus is on defense right now. We talked
Hmm.
about that stuff. We talked about it previously. Okay. But now I'm seeing steel. Steel is going up and it looks like uh I don't know how far we have to run with it, but it's definitely going up. I can tell you that.
If you look at I was looking at some of the indices, and you see like a lot of the industrials or like those types of things have been up the last
Yeah,
few days.
for sure.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
today we,
Is that sustainable? I wonder if that's going to continue for. I mean, if materials wise and utilities may be a thing.
yeah.
Uh,
And see, the
we go.
thing is, so like materials, I was looking at that right now. Materials did pretty
Mhm.
well today, and real estate did pretty well today.
Yeah,
Real estate
yeah,
did pretty well the other day as well too. So I'm
yeah.
thinking that they may start having some type of movement, to the upside and like really, really break out to the upside.
I mean, if
Because
these rates keep going like the way that they are, it's just going to be continuous loss of inventory for houses, and people just keep buying them
yeah.
up.
But at the same time, like I see because of the interest rates rising and all that stuff, we did if you take a look at like the ETF for the real estate sector,
Yeah.
what you can do is you can see like we did hit like basically an inflection point
Hmm.
in January, beginning of the year, top of the year, like the third, very basically the very top of the year, we hit an inflection point, and from then
Okay.
on, we've been on a downtrend. So
Right.
I have been seeing real estate kind of show up here and there, but I'm not a big fan of buying it right now. What I would be suggesting is a short. I would be waiting. It is moving to the upside, so I did see it
Yeah.
move those days to the upside, but I'm not saying that is in a bull market.
Sure.
Um, I said that I had saw, a little bit of upside, but I didn't mean like it was just going to continue to keep going up. So
Yeah.
let me retrace on that. And because we are in a bear market when it comes to this real estate stuff. And it looks like we're getting close to a trend line that's trying to set up. And if that's the
Hmm.
case, then of course, we're going to start seeing some downward movement pretty soon. So, real estate, because of this, like just seeing the real estate sector, knowing the REITs are about to start retracing, that right there
Right.
kind of puts me in the mindset that we're going to start seeing prices in the overall market start retracing. Because, I mean, to be honest, everyone knows that the prices are way too high. I mean, even looking at the real estate ETF, we could see like that was a very, very, very strong move coming off of
So
COVID, leading all the way up to the beginning of this year. And
yeah,
now we're seeing this move to the downside. That uptrend has been broken, it seems. And I mean, it just seems like now we're getting back to normal. We're getting back to like a normal flow of things. But we could also be bouncing off a trend line. So it's so many things that could be going on right now because this could definitely be bouncing off a trend line. And if that's the case, then we do have more upward potential. So real estate, we're
that's
definitely gonna
interesting.
have
I
to
mean,
keep an eye on real estate.
people, especially the way people think, everybody's not going to agree with the prices except the people that have the houses.
Yeah.
So at some point, people are like, these prices are too. Wait, y'all have got to bring these down. There's no way.
Yeah. The only part yeah, like you just said, the only person that's gonna really say like, hey, this is really worth this is gonna be the person that's trying to
Right.
sell it to you. Because no one else is gonna
Yep.
believe that valuation.
Right.
No one.
And you got people trying to 4 or 5 times more than what they would for half the space.
Yeah. But I mean, real estate does look it still looks promising. I'll say that. We got a trend line that's set up and we have a support line. With that being said,
Yeah.
it still has upward potential. I'm not going to say that we're going to see real estate just fall out right now, but it
Right.
does have upward potential. But we have seen it start pulling back ever since the beginning of the year. So let's just kind of like see what Price wants to do. That's all I can say about that one. Just
Yeah.
because it's pulled back to a nice area. It bounced off that area.
I
And
mean, this may just be some consolidation that's going to happen for a while and just kind of see it level a little bit.
yeah, I mean, it's definitely staying above a resistance area though. So that's another reason why I said I don't see it being in a full bear market, but I don't see
Yeah.
like super uptrend just because of where we are, especially with the interest rates kind of rising. But
Yeah.
still seeing that we're in an overall low interest rate environment, I mean, it could still play to the advantage of the real estate market. So, I mean, like I said, this
Yeah.
one right here is kind of tricky. Um, you got two ways you can go with it, so we're just gonna have to see. It it does kind of have a lot of it has that upward potential. I'll say that. Still has that upward
Yeah.
potential though.
I think, like I said, it's interesting to see it. Who would have guessed that coming out of COVID, everybody wanted to make that move, and the real estate market is what would have boomed. I would have definitely thought discretionary would be a higher movement, or I mean, which it was for some time, but definitely not the same percentage gain or for the length of time that housing market is.
Yeah. Well, we like that. That's one of those things that we're just gonna have to sit back and find out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, it's been interesting to see how the fluctuations the market has and how people are kind of realizing like, what type of market are we in? Because
Yeah.
then one day you can have 3 different ideas, 3 different days in a week, just based off. We for a while we just saw a consistent trend upward, and everybody was putting their money in there. But now, like Raheem kind of talks about finding some other securities to put your money in. So whether that's crypto or whatever it is, maybe people aren't as far into it, kind of changing their strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of instruments that you can take advantage of now. Crypto definitely just opened up another plethora of instruments that you could throw money
Mhm.
into. Of course, you got the options market, you have the foreign exchange market, you have the stock market, you have the futures market. So many different markets, commodities, so many different things to the point
Right.
where it's like, um, you have so many choices, a lot of different choices now. So the choice is really up to you. Like, where do you want to put your money?
That's what just the good and bad thing.
Yeah,
Good to
exactly.
have options, bad sometimes bad to have too many options.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like I've definitely read something. I've read like in books, whereas like once you put too many options in front of someone, um, it kind of like freezes them
Yeah,
because
yeah.
now they don't really know. You've given them too many options, and if you ask anyone, you say like, would you rather have two options or would you rather have 10? Everyone's gonna always say 10, but then they're gonna freeze once they see the 10,
And
and
how to
it's
manage.
like, okay, I can't make a decision now. Where if you
Right.
only had two options, boom, okay, I want this one, and that's it. Like you can make a decision very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's why it's hard to have a bunch of open positions, but no real plan for them. So, having your exit strategy, figuring out where you want to get in and out of the market, and it could be even for long term. That may be something you think of later down the road. But for your smaller plays, definitely having a actual plan for your trade.
Exactly. You been
Going
saying
on,
anything
y'all?
over there, Raheem?
What's happening?
Going on.
What y'all boy talking about? Them multiple positions open sound like.
Just talking about just in general, just all this stuff that's going on in the market and basically how to play it and what we like and what we don't like to do.
You were talking about having all those different securities and all that type of thing that you can different than the stock market that people are now changing their minds to, and whether that, like you're saying, whether that be crypto, forex, options, just a
Yeah.
bunch of different
And
ways.
just talking about how many, if you give people too many options, now they're to the point where they basically get frozen.
Yeah,
Right. Too many safe havens out here.
right. That's what it was. Safe haven. That's what
Too many, quote unquote. Anyway,
it was.
Hey, that's what they run to, the safe havens.
man, I tell y'all one thing though, man. What y'all talked about them oil prices again yet?
A little
Slightly.
bit. How they're shooting through the roof.
Y'all think we getting some breaks, slow down yet, or we still still going?
Just pushing.
Hey, I think the momentum is still gonna push for just about another week or two. I mean, of course you can't time the market. I'm just saying about a week or
Right.
two. But,
Based on the momentum and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
The market can't stop on a dime. So
Right. Right.
we'll
Absolutely.
start seeing a little bit of pressure. A little bit of buying pressure kind of ease shortly.
I want to say I read something where the tensions are easing a little bit between Russia and Ukraine.
That's good news.
Have y'all heard anything about tensions easing?
I haven't. I just know
Yeah,
that
I
they keep
haven't either.
bombing people over there. But
For
to be
real.
honest, I haven't kept up with anything today.
Literally killing people over there,
Yeah, like it is wild
man.
to think that another country would just invade the country and then try to come up with all these false allegations as to
Right.
why they did it to justify the move. And it's like none of that makes sense. Now, the last thing that I did see is that the U.S. had top priority on trying to understand where Putin was, where his mindset was, because there's a lot of people saying that he's not acting the same way as he used to. They had like past CIA people saying that. Um, Even in pictures, you can kind of see like the disconnect between him and his advisors. Like they have this one picture where the advisors are like way down the table. They had this long table. They're way down the table. They're not anywhere close to him.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming this is supposed to be a meeting of some sort.
So
Right.
So
is my man freestyling a war here? Is that what we're doing?
I mean, that's what it seems like. Cause like I said, like the the troops, the Russian troops were not ready. Like they thought that they were coming into like friendly territory. They were told that they were gonna come into opening arms. Like that was, they were reading text messages going back and forth between a guy and his mother.
Oh, sure.
So they
Sure.
thought they were going somewhere friendly. They're actually in a war. And like I said, a lot of these guys are like self sabotaging their vehicles and stuff because they don't want to go.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, like they're
Wow.
saying that like the morale is not that high for the Russian military.
Oh yeah. Hey, after a while, they gonna what they gonna do? Turn on buddy, ain't it?
Okay, right.
Maybe, maybe
You get enough people that believe in it.
because the thing is, like Russia, the state news, they they have complete control over it. So because of that, like
Mm.
you know,
They can
Right.
really spin it however.
yeah, they're making the
Yeah.
Russians like feel like unless you're only watching that, you would think that maybe Ukraine overstepped their boundaries or something like that because they're
Right.
gonna spin it on the state news sites.
Right.
Right.
But I don't know.
Wow.
Of course, if you get on the internet, like it's so many Russian athletes, Russian billionaires, like the big oligarchs, they're over there like begging for peace. But of course, they won't talk bad about Putin because they understand the consequences that comes with that. But they're begging for peace because they're getting their stuff seized.
Yeah,
Literally.
and
I heard
messing up
about
the money.
Exactly.
what I think it was a guy, literally his yacht was in EU territory and literally they was like, hey, you're a Russian guy? We stopping it right here, buddy. That's
That's
your
ins-
yacht. It's our yacht now.
that's insane.
I see we got a report saying that Ukraine and Russia they agreed to allow some Ukrainian civilians to flee safety. So, I mean, that's good, but still, why are you invading the country? That's the whole thing,
Right.
you know?
Let's go back to the initial thing
Yeah,
of
let's
the
go back
war.
to the root cause of all this. Like, why are you invading the country? Like, I'm all for allowing the civilians to live because they have nothing to do with this. Like, really, the army has nothing to do. This country has nothing to do with this. Like, you just
Yeah.
woke up today and said, "Hey, I'm gonna go invade the country. So let's just go ahead and start amassing troops at the borders, and then I'm gonna tell you guys to go and invade. But we're gonna tell the world that we're not trying to do this because they really try to do this undercover. But the U.S. was just
Yeah.
able to uncover this because of our intelligence."
On that note, I remember last show, Jerome was mentioning we may need to watch out for China and what they might be they sleeve right now.
Well, yeah, because China wants Taiwan back.
Right.
Mm.
That is
Uh-oh.
that would be quite interesting with all this attention over here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
China wants Taiwan back, and then you have, like I said, with this, Russia wants Ukraine back, and you have these dictators that's presidents by title, but they don't necessarily act accordingly as a president.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
know.
tell you one thing, I mean, just me personally, in my mind, I can't even think, I haven't thought about like war and like real tanks, like people just getting killed in a while. Like they're literally like doing like the old days, going into there and shooting them up and
Like
like
some
getting
Call
your
of Duty stuff.
like literally like
Yeah, like
that,
it really is a wild thing to think about that modern day is 2022 and now we're having an invasion in Europe.
right, right.
I mean,
Right.
Um,
because like we said before,
Like we haven't had enough to do this.
Dude, we've been had so many issues going on that hasn't caused the war, and these guys
There's
decide to
been
wake up and just start shooting people.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. That's the
like,
reason why they're saying that they need to
can we
see
get
what's
off?
going on with Putin.
Mm, mental.
Yeah, because it's like what is really going on in your head because even your guys don't want to fight this war.
Hmm. That is true. I do got a question for y'all on what y'all view is. Once this thing does actually ease, and does actually, I guess, pass over, done with it. What are some things that you all are looking for? Um, to just see a reaction or kind of see the change go with and be able to capitalize off of.
Once it starts easing,
Hmm.
well, of course, I mean, just the global markets, I feel are just gonna start picking back up, just because you'll have a lot of shorts that come into play because oil things like that
Yeah,
will start getting shorted, just because it's
Hmm.
been up, you know.
that's for sure.
Right,
And the
right,
thing is, like I was saying earlier, like how much more can oil go up when we know that the dependence for oil is not gonna be that heavy
Yeah,
the closer we get to 2035.
right.
Every day we get closer to 2035, the less demand that we're getting.
Yep.
mm, that's a
You're right
problem.
about that now. You're absolutely right about that. So, what about you, folk? Anything you specifically
I think
looking
it's
at?
less volatility because if you see like the market in the last few days, we'll have a super up, super down, super up, super down. We haven't really had a lot of any consolidation as much. So
All right.
I think it may just start kind of bringing those highs and lows kind of closer. We
Mm-hmm.
may not see as many skyrocketing companies as we see, or really downtrending ones as quickly as they were. So I just
Right.
think we'll find a little more foundation in the market.
I agree with that. I agree with that. AC, to your point about the oil prices coming down, after a while, once things go over. What this is war has been going on for what, about 2 weeks now?
Now the invasion I think started last Thursday.
Last
Last
yeah,
Thursday.
last week.
Maybe about a week now. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So with the oil prices, we're expecting the oil to go down, but we also have summer coming up. COVID is, finishing up supposedly. I don't know. I haven't checked out the numbers, but they're not paying much attention to it. We should be expecting a lot of summer travel.
Yeah.
So,
But just because they're not paying attention to it doesn't mean it's not out there. It's just not reported.
Yeah, it's so much focus on the war
Yeah,
now to the
yeah.
point where people are like, COVID, yeah, but let's see if we're gonna have to go to war. Like screw COVID. I'm trying to not dodge bullets.
Right.
right, right. And
I catch
pretty
a little COVID before I go over here and have to shoot some folks.
right, right, man. Hey, I'm telling you that they was talking about the draft.
Nah, I didn't know they were bringing the draft back up.
Yeah, it's bad. Maybe
Yeah,
it's supposed to be at least. I don't know if they're going to enact it, but there was definitely discussion on it.
man. To the also just going back to those oil prices, I personally feel yeah, we got this kind of momentum going off of this war, but we're also easing into the summertime with the pickup of travel and people doing all of that. I feel like it's going to be kind of hard to slow this momentum down for a little while.
I don't
What
think
you
you'll ever slow it
think?
down because it was really like, in some places, COVID never existed. So, I mean, and then we get travel back now, and everybody's like, but I took all those shots. What happened to those? So, I think it's going to be hard to reel people back in. I think that's going to be, like you said, travel is definitely going to ramp up. People aren't as
Mhm.
nervous anymore, aren't even wearing masks for real. So,
I'm ready for the cruises to be safe again. I've never been
yeah.
on a cruise, so I want to take me a real cheap cruise like how they have out here. But I
Oh,
don't want to be, I don't want to be subject to the COVID.
yeah.
Get on that boat for a week after.
Exactly. Not trying to do that. I don't want to quarantine on a boat. And that's my first time being on a boat. Like, no,
You know,
that's not gonna be my experience.
Man, my dad's got a cruise for $0.
He probably did. They probably paid him to go on it.
that's insane.
They
He
probably
just had to
did that
pay
and gave
for
him a
food.
credit. Hey man, you
Yep,
get
drink package, everything.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
about to say. Probably gave $200 in drinks or something to go on the thing.
Man, I tell you, boy, I said, Dad, I said that's a real good deal, man. Just make sure you wear your mask.
Exactly.
yeah.
Hey, that's a deadly deal, ain't
Mm,
it?
Look, well,
$0.
hey, I tell you what, if we do actually start getting a nice descent on the oil prices, another thing I would like to look at is that travel and we're reopening, but I would like to look at that
Mhm.
travel and reopening stocks.
Yeah.
Because once gas gets a little lower, people will be able to pick up more on that. They won't be as hesitant, like don't feel like paying this much for gas to drive here. So I will
Yeah,
keep
because
an eye
people
on
aren't
stuff
going
like
anywhere with the gas prices that
Expedia.
high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Expedia. I know you was mentioning airlines too,
Airline, yeah.
AC,
Yep.
in our chat earlier.
Yep.
So I think once we get those things, that oil down, I think we could really benefit on a lot of things.
Oh yeah. A lot of things to benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And so even a lot of these hotels and all those resort type places, the all inclusive one.
Right. Man, we had a nice energy pullback today. Anyone capitalize on that?
No, I
I
didn't
was
get
thinking,
in on the energy.
I didn't see any energy ones.
I didn't get in
Okay.
on the energy because the one that I had called, man, that thing took off. The SRE that I called on the last podcast. Oh man, that thing took off like ridiculous. Like you could have made a lot of money if you was following along.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
So I'm
You
gonna
have a
give
lot
you
of
another one. I'm gonna give everybody another one, and I'm gonna see if they can capitalize off this one. I'm gonna give them another one.
uh
I got one more for them. We gonna see.
uh
So we basically got to that time of the show now.
I
We
would say
basically
let them
got to
know.
that part of the show.
we about that. Hey, I want to say this too. I got to talk about my little crypto part.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
About my crypto part, man. I've been still hearing more and more stuff about how this crypto. I don't know why they're trying to combine digital currency and crypto together because that's two different things. But it's a lot of talk around that. With the currency, Russian's currency going to trash. They're actually trying to I want to say they're trying to get their accounts. They're trying to actually start learning how to track crypto now.
Are they all on the blockchain? Could that be the
That's what I
commonality?
was about to say. I
Yeah.
think that that's going to be the link
I think so.
is the
Mhm.
blockchain.
Yeah.
Right. But I heard I think they're even taking the steps now to even go into Russian accounts and just pretty much put a halt so they can't access.
Yeah, I saw that crypto was stopped and stopped over there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Russia is really getting hurt right now because their stock market hasn't been open. Like, it's a lot of bad going on for those guys right now. Like, I'm pretty sure that those Russian people are like, Putin, please stop this war. Like, please stop this war because this means nothing to us. Like, what does
Right.
it
It's
mean for us to have Ukraine? What does it mean? We got Ukraine, but we don't have access to anything else in the world. Our money is not useless. We don't have
yeah.
any of our luxuries anymore. Like, what does it matter?
They just trying to make all our cereal and bread go up. Because
It's crazy.
Ukraine is like that's what one of their main resources
Yeah.
that they
yeah.
export
Yeah.
is.
Wheat and all that stuff. Corn.
Mm-hmm. And all.
So that's pretty interesting. I don't know how much it can really affect, but it's quite a lot of groceries that have wheat in it. But
Yeah.
um,
They're a big producer of corn too.
okay. So I guess
Mhm.
that kind of even eases into what I guess you would call like the Walmart, the Targets. and stuff like that, combining with the
Yeah,
inflation, their prices going up. We're now having shortage of wheat.
yeah.
That's going to even give another catalyst for them.
And then they also have like very high deposits of like I think materials needed for like batteries, like for the electrical
Mm,
batteries and stuff like that.
that's the last thing that we need right now.
Right. That definitely doesn't help what we've seen in the market last
Yeah.
few months.
But like I said, I mean if Russia does succeed with what they're trying to do, no one's gonna buy the stuff from them. So they're sitting on nothing.
Hmm.
They don't even want to sell
Or
Russian.
it's twice
They
as
don't even
much.
want to sell Russian vodka right now. They
Right.
pull they pull Russian vodka off the list. Like you can't buy Russian vodka if you go into your store right now.
Wow,
And you know there's some people mad about that.
man.
So I mean,
I
it's
can,
it's, it's
I'm,
wild.
I can say I'm impressed with the unity that has come out of this. I
Yeah,
can say that.
Now, that is one thing that surprised the world. Definitely took a. I mean, we've had a lot of situations where we've had to be like that kind of in the last few years.
and I mean
Mm,
you have to in this instance because
Yeah.
it's a sovereign nation being overtaken. It's the same way as when Germany says, "Screw it, we're gonna take over Poland,"
hmm.
and then what happened? World War II.
Yeah. People rebel.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like, do you really want to relive this again? And you're coming around with the same players again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right about that, man. Hey, I guess we actually get into it now, man. I know I'm ready for this growth that we may be having ahead of us, cause feel like we might be getting into it, might be able to get back into a rhythm.
Yeah, for
Some
sure.
at least just some less sporadic movement. There's been a lot of movement that has just been unexplainable. Just like why did this take off? Because of some random event that could have happened. Like maybe we can actually attribute things to a actual root cause.
And I want to say, even though like the indexes are kind of, they kind of been fluctuating at a low level, but I do feel like this is also a good time that we found a pretty nice low on the indexes wise. There are going to be
Mhm.
some companies that may start going ahead and leading before the indexes even start, that we can capitalize on.
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Agree with that.
Sure, let me see. I got a few. I might have a few to share,
Okay.
and I feel like it might be leading. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going back to I'm banking on travel, banking on oil coming back, and travel being able to really slingshot off of that.
That doesn't
So
sound like a bad plan.
what Expedia, booking, stuff like that.
Booking, man, that thing moves so much.
Mhm.
Huge stock, very volatile.
Oh yeah, what's the stuff y'all looking at?
I was seeing some. I was even just kind of looking for some trend line differences, some kind of charting. I saw some interesting stuff with Chegg and then Medtronic were the other two. So they had a couple bounces off of the lines to. I think it was Tuesday, um, but they might be preparing for some up movement. So I was planning on watching them for some short term stuff. But yeah, those are
That
the ones
doesn't
I was
sound
looking.
bad. Yeah, I got Dollar Tree loaded up on my list.
Yeah, that's the one. I saw some of the movement today.
I
Mm.
got
Oh,
Dollar Tree loaded up, man. This thing looks
yeah.
like it's primed. If it breaks higher than 150, we're running.
I didn't know it was that expensive.
Yeah, we're
I just
running.
want to know. I just want to know, is it going to be able to continue staying Dollar Tree?
Nope. It's a dollar
Not with
25 tree now.
not with these rates.
Dollar quarter tree. It's a
You're
dollar quarter tree.
gonna have a bunch of five belows running around.
I'm trying to tell you,
Basically.
man.
Yeah, there's gonna be a two below.
Yeah.
Two below.
Man, that's what's up. I was about to say, I forgot my hood, my Robin Hood, man. it done bottom out now. So we're trying to hope that we get these crypto wallets going and stuff like that
Mhm.
too.
I'm
With
gonna
what we
save
got.
my airline play for the premium people. I
Okay.
ain't gonna tell too many people about that one.
Okay.
I got an airline that I was throwing out there to folks that looks pretty prime, so I keep that one in
Mm-hmm.
the back pocket.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do want to learn about which one that is, you can go over to the Hack the Markets premium to the premium account. HackTheMarketsTrading.com, and you can get yourself a premium account. And I will definitely tell you which stock I'm talking about, and I'll tell you a whole bunch more because I'm throwing out lists like every day. So if you need something, we got it for you.
That's good.
Um, Definitely we got a blog going on now, so newly introduced blog, so it'll be weekly posts going up on there, so be looking out for that. um Definitely follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, like the Facebook page, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us some comments and like some of the videos as well too, kind of helps out the algorithm. And what else we got going on? We got a webinar going on this month. It's going to be the free webinar going on for the free chat. So if you are a part of the free community, we will have a webinar coming up for you guys soon. So
Mhm.
be looking out for that one as well. Anything else you guys want to add?
Hey, y'all trade safely tomorrow on non-fund payroll.
Oh man, it is that time. It is that time.
You'll be able to get a nice Friday ending
Right.
tomorrow.
It is that time. Well, yeah, for sure. Hey, and until next week, we'll see you guys on Monday. Hopefully, you guys make some good money.
Yes, sir.